I still can't believe what happened last weekend. One minute I'm standing by my car with a bag of groceries, and the next, a middle-aged woman is writhing on the pavement, wailing like she'd been hit by a freight train.
Help!
Someone call 911.
He hit me with his car, she screamed.
Her face was contorted in what I now know was world-class, Oscar-worthy fake agony. I stood there, hands raised, clutching a carton of eggs. I didn't even touch her. I shouted to the neighbors. My car has been parked for 10 minutes. People started pouring out of their houses, some in bathrobes, some walking dogs that were losing their minds at the commotion.
And then I saw it.
Mr. Jenkins, the retired photographer from across the street. He was standing on his porch, perfectly still, holding up his phone. The red recording light was blinking. I didn't know it then, but that little red light was about to end a 3-year reign of terror in Oakwood Estates. I moved here 3 months ago.
I'm an accountant.
I like rules, provided they make sense. But I hadn't met the HOA president, Karen Wilkins. Karen treats her position with the gravity of a 4-star general. My first week, I parked in a visitor spot to unload heavy boxes. I heard a sharp throat clear behind me. There she was, a perfectly structured bob, designer sunglasses, and arms folded like a vault door.
That is a visitor spot, she snapped. I know, I said.
I'm just unloading. I'll move it in 5 minutes. Her eyebrows disappeared into her hairline. Lazy residents endanger lives, Mr. Elias. I'm Karen Wilkins, and I don't make exceptions. Move it, or face a violation. I moved the car, but the war had begun. Over the next month, she became a ghost in the machine. Yellow fake tickets appeared on my windshield daily. My neighbor Rachel whispered to me, "Don't take it personally." She once removed a kid's basketball hoop because it was 3 inches too tall. Last Saturday, I had 5 bags of groceries. I parked in the spot right in front of my door. Technically a visitor spot, but empty. I'd barely popped the trunk when Karen's front door slammed. She marched across the street, phone out, snapping photos.
I've documented 17 violations.
We are beginning formal proceedings. Karen, I've read the bylaws, I said, trying to keep my heart rate down. There's nothing prohibiting temporary loading. I'll be done in 5. She flushed a shade of red that actually looked painful. I am the president. I don't need to justify anything. Move it or face the consequences. I stood my ground. I'll move it when I'm done. We can talk at the board meeting. That's when her expression changed. It wasn't anger anymore, it was a calculation. She looked at the neighbors watching, looked at my car, and then, she staggered. Sound of a dramatic theatrical gasp and a body hitting the pavement.
My leg, she shrieked. He backed into me.
He did it on purpose. I stood there, frozen. My car was in park. The engine wasn't even running. I hadn't even touched the driver's door. What are you talking about? I stammered. The car hasn't moved. She just wailed louder. You did it deliberately. The police arrived in minutes. Karen ramped up the performance, actual tears, gasping for breath, insisting on an ambulance for her shattered leg. The officers looked at me with that look, the one that says, "You're going to jail, pal." "Officer, I was at the trunk the whole time," I explained. The cop looked unconvinced. "We'll need witness statements," he said, looking at the neighbors who were suddenly very busy looking at their shoes. Until Mr. Jenkins stepped forward. "Officer, I have it on video," Jenkins said quietly. The mood shifted like a tectonic plate. Karen's moaning stopped for a split second, then resumed. The officers huddled around Jenkins' phone. The first officer looked up. "Ms. Wilkins, I need you to explain what I'm seeing." Karen's shattered leg miraculously healed. She scrambled to her feet with the agility of a track star. "The video doesn't show the contact. I must have slipped. The pavement is uneven. That's an HOA violation." The officer wasn't buying it. "Ma'am, filing a false police report is a criminal offense." "Ms. Karen Wilkins," the officer began, "put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for filing a false report and attempted insurance fraud." "Insurance fraud?" I asked. The officer nodded. "She has 3 previous reports exactly like this. Different neighbors, same story. She's been cashing in on accidents for years. We just needed a video to prove the pattern." As the handcuffs clicked, Karen's face went white. "But I'm a respected leader. I'm the president." "Not anymore," someone yelled from the crowd. The slam of the police car door was the most beautiful sound I've heard in Oakwood Estates. As they drove away, the neighborhood didn't just go back to quiet. We erupted in applause. Rachel came over, grinning. She once fined the Morgans $200 because their Christmas lights were up on January 2nd. I think we're going to have a very happy new year. I finally picked up my groceries.
The eggs were fine.
My car was still in the visitor spot. And for the first time since I moved in, the sun felt a lot brighter on the asphalt.